This is Russ. Out here in California, we're on the Iron Horse Trail. Yeah, so we get to see some things in California. I'm gonna stop here for a second. I am waiting for my sister. She is not as experienced of a rider, so we can't go too fast. So as you know, I would go zipping by, but I have to wait to make sure she makes it through here. This seems to be some residential area, but I think this trail is supposed to open up. The problem too is, I'm using the Rad Minis, and this one does not have a rear view mirror, so I have to keep looking over my shoulder to see if she's with me or if I've gone too fast, too far. It's the problem when being a brand new rider. She has two Rad Mini step through 2s, and she has a Rad Expand 5 for her son. This is not an easy thing to negotiate here. These are very narrow paths. So let's hope she doesn't fall over. I don't know where this goes, quite frankly. She stopped and talked to some resident and asked them about it, and they told her to just kind of keep following through. I have a feeling maybe that trail over here might actually be the trail. It seems to be open. Let's try over here. Again, I'm still waiting for her. I think this ride is going to be a lot of waiting for her. All right. Let me get off the bike here. All right, we're back up. This is a paved path. We don't know where it goes, how far it goes, but we know we have to pass some streets. Like everything else, I mean, it's not a path that goes directly all the way through, but it looks like it has been fenced off. At least it looks like that to me. But we'll see. And no, it's open. So apparently they have a gate. They open it or they close it. Right now it seems to be open. Watch for those cars. Hopefully she will make it through. I'll stop again and wait. I think for my sister, a wide open path is her best bet. She's not confident enough to ride on the streets or even crossing streets. So we're waiting. She is walking it. This might be a long ride, folks. Okay, all right. So she has told me to go ahead, and we're gonna go ahead up to the next intersection, she said. So let me tell you about my experience out here in California so far. It's been cold. It has been cold. Today might be the first day that actually feels warm enough where I'm not wearing some type of sweatshirt or jacket. And so I think we're around maybe 72, 73, 74 degrees, something like that. So the entire time I was here, it was kind of cold. Now, reports have been, while I was gone, Chicago had tornado warnings, hail, high winds, they had everything. So they weren't in good shape either. But by the time I get back home, today is Monday. I don't even know what the date is. I'm leaving on Tuesday morning, way early in the morning. I should get back at around 11 something in the afternoon, back into O'Hare Airport. I'll be taking rides out going forward at this point because it looks like the temperatures are going to be good enough for me to actually start my rides again. So how often will we be doing it? Well, hard to say. We used to do 6 days a week, right? But I don't know if we'll be able to do that going forward all the way through, but I'm going to do as much as I can. But I also do know that I still have reviews to finish off for manufacturers, and there are several bikes coming in. So we're going to have to throw in the reviews in the middle of the bike rides, and then also I want to do some video on some of the footage that I shot while I was here in California, and also some footage things that I shot when I was in Vegas, and give you my impressions of how Vegas is today and the like. I know a number of you guys probably have already gone to Vegas by this time after the pandemic stuff was going on, but I wanted to give you at least my impressions of Vegas. I'm not new to Vegas, I've been there many times, but just to let you know how it is today for me. So, alright, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to wait for her. I'm going to shut down and we'll turn it back on in a minute. Sit tight. Alright, I'm back. I've crossed over. Let me see if she crossed over. Hold on. She walks across the street, so it'll take her a while. But yeah, she wants me to go ahead and she will follow along. Now, when we first started riding, we were just riding around the street areas and she wasn't going too fast. Then we found another area which was an empty, well, it's not empty, it was a parking lot, but since the schools have been out for spring break, we were able to ride around the parking lots by the schools and park districts. And so it gave her a little more confidence. She's riding faster now than she did when I first got here. Her son is still riding relatively slowly. And so I think he just needs more experience to be on the bike, then he'll get better at it. Obviously, I'm not going very fast here. I'm not even pedaling, as usual. Because I can't even do a perfectly full, good rotation on this Rad Mini. I do full rotations only when I have decent leg extension, as you know. And I've got the seat up pretty high on this one. Even when my wife had the Rad Mini Step Through 2, I had a hard time doing full extensions because the seat height only goes so high. The seat post only goes so high. So yeah, I'm just throttling for most of this. I'll go for a lower pedal assist. It'll slow me down a little bit. That way I won't go too far, too fast. Leave her in the dust. So how was California? Well, like I said, I think our temperatures here was pretty much what the temperatures was happening out in Chicago. In fact, I think some of the temps in Chicago actually was better than the temps here in San Francisco area. And we're not exactly in the city. We're one of the cities a little bit higher up. And I think we didn't really have that much better weather than they had. But Vegas was also very cold. It only started getting warm after we left, really. So I rode my scooter pretty much everywhere we went, my mobility scooter. And the reason is because there's a lot of walking. Especially in Vegas, there's a ton of walking. And I'm not ready to do that at this point. So, alright, let me stop here again. Yeah, she's still going. We're going forward. Hopefully the car doesn't kill me. There we go. Let's see how she does getting over. So Vegas was good, but I have some reservations. I can probably tell you about that stuff now. And then when I do the Vegas thing, I'll talk about the buffets and things that we did and the shows and the like. But since we're just riding casually here, let me tell you a little bit about Vegas at least. Not much to tell you about here though, because we really didn't do a whole lot in terms of riding or anything. I did go visit the Rad Power Bike store in Berkeley. So at least we had that. And I will do a video on that. I got a chance to ride the Rad Trike. Many of you guys have been asking me to try a trike, see what I thought. I do have some comments on that. And I rode their new Rad Runner 3 Plus. So yeah, let me stop for a bit here. Let me make sure she's coming. Yeah, she's coming. She's just slower than me. And so So we'll have a video about that experience and how I felt about riding a trike and whether I thought it was worth riding or not. Now, I did tell the guys at Rad that I will be publishing something, and I'm sure they'll be watching that. So I'll have comments about that as well. So let's talk about Vegas real quick. All right. Here's my observation with Vegas, and I just forgot about this, I guess, because it wasn't on my mind. But Vegas has a lot of smoke. Yeah, if you're not a smoker, you know, even a little bit of cigarette smoke is going to get to you. Well, there's a ton of cigarette smoke in the casinos. Now, I didn't gamble or anything, but you do have to walk past the casinos, you know, to get to places, and so it was a lot of smoke. And I think that was the worst part about it all. I mean, if you're a smoker, it probably wouldn't bother you one bit, but if you're not a smoker, it does, because we're kind of used to the fact that there's no smoking in restaurants. There's no, you know, it's just there's no smoke. So the fact that you have so much of it in Vegas, it comes to the point where it's a little bit too much for us to deal with. So, you know, if you're eating something and there's smoke all over, it doesn't appeal. But at least in the buffets, you know, it's far enough away from the casino sections that you know, you don't smell the smoke then, at least during the buffets. But everything else was a lot of smoke. I'm gonna stop here first. See where. Let's see if we have to go. I know she wants to stay on trails, and I think the trail is to our right. I'm just gonna wait for her. All right, let's stop at this point, and I'll pick us back up in a second. Sit tight. All right, we have turned back around. She didn't want to cross the street, so we're going back the same way we came. There's a bridge on the other direction, so we'll see how we do with that. So overall, we hit 3 buffets. We hit the, what did we hit? We hit the, what was the first one? See, I already totally forgot. It'll come to me. Anyway, I'll put a graphic up since I can't remember what it was. That first buffet, we got there 2 hours before they closed, and wasn't the greatest, to tell you the truth. We thought, all 3 of us, my nephew, my sister, and me, we said it was okay, but nothing to write home about. And they weren't replenishing the food simply because they were going towards the close of their time. So because of that, a lot of things were starting to get missing. I mean, they were still letting people in. That was the weird part about it, and they weren't replenishing dishes that were finished. And I thought that, you know, these people coming in late, they're missing out. So we weren't that impressed with that first buffet. So the second buffet, we went to the Wind Buffet. That was much better. Yeah, all 3 of us thought it was much better of a buffet. It cost a little bit more, but I thought that was well worth it. And overall, yeah, we thought it was a good buffet. Then we hit the third buffet, which was the Bacchanal buffet in Caesar's Palace, and that, I'm going to tell you, is the buffet to go to. It was so much larger compared to the other 2, and I mean, the selection was a whole bunch of stuff. The place was huge. The seating was huge. Now, an interesting thing about that buffet, and shout outs goes to the reservation woman who was taking care of people who had reservations. We had reservations but had not paid yet, and so you have to wait in line. So we had a 3:45 appointment time, but they actually opened the buffet at 3:30. But believe it or not, I got there at 2:45, and so we had a lot of time. And so she told us to come back, you know, a little bit before our reservation time, and she'll let us in. But I had nowhere to go, quite frankly. I wasn't gambling. I wasn't doing anything. So I said, hey, I've got nowhere to go. We're just simply going to be eating at the buffet and then going to a show afterwards. So she said, well, you can hang out here with me. So So my nephew and my sister went off to wander around, and then I just kind of stayed on the scooter right next to her as she's talking to people and dealing with the things she needs to deal with. And we struck up a conversation and found out that she's from Hawaii originally, and that, you know, her parents moved to Vegas, and then so now she's here in Vegas. And so we were talking, and she basically, you know, told me her life story. I told her what I did. I told her that I was a YouTuber, and she did mention to me that, you know, the food review people for YouTube has been hard and heavy coming in for the Bacchanal buffet. You know, and it's like everybody is doing a food review, and I told her, yeah, I'll probably shoot some stuff, but it's not my main focus, because they only give you an hour and a half to eat there. I says, I'm here to eat the stuff and then get out of here. But I says, I'll take some video, some photos. So as we got to about 3:15, she said to me, she says, look, I'm gonna move you guys up. Yeah, the power of Russ is right? So she says, I'm going to move you guys up a little bit earlier. So she brought us in there before the 3:30 start time. And usually, I guess the people who have special, like, I think they call it the Diamond Club or something like that, get to go in a little earlier. If they paid in advance, they go in earlier. She says just come on up here, and then, but you can't go in until 3:30, well, which is fine. But had my sister and nephew been there, we would have been the first to go into the buffet of the people who made reservations but had not paid yet. So, and believe it or not, that 15 minutes difference made a huge difference. I mean, it was stacking up with people waiting, and then people waiting for the seafood line was a lot. I mean, if I didn't have technical difficulties with my gimbal that I was using to stabilize my shots, I would have been able to get there a little bit earlier and then get my shots better. Oh, she's still here, okay. So I think if I didn't have the technical problems, I would have been able to get better shots and then get back in line and get my food. But because of the technical difficulties I had, by the time I got up there, you know, everyone's already in line, so it's hard to make good recordings of it. But I'll tell you this story. While I was up there at the seafood line, the guy in front of me, he's an Asian guy, he had stacked up so much stuff on his plate, and of course, what did he do? He had to drop the plate, spill it all over the floor, lose everything that he had on the plate, and the first thing out of his mouth was, oh no. Yeah, he dropped all of it. So they had to clean that up. But I'll say that the food at the Bacchanal was definitely very good. The meats were very good. The crab legs, you know, we had crab legs at every single buffet, and steamed crab legs. But everything else at the Bacchanal for seafood was cold. It was, you know, on ice. I really don't like it when it's on ice. I mean, they had lobster claws and, you know, Dungeness crab and other seafood things, but yeah, because it was cold, I said, you know, I'm not going to take a lot of that. So I got stuff like the prime rib. I got what else did I get? I'm going to have to go through the thing, and I'll make a video with it. But yeah, you know, I asked for prime rib, and the guy cut me such a huge slice. But I will tell you, it was really good. Oh, the brisket. The brisket was really good. Now, you guys know that I have several smokers. I would say that the brisket was exceptional at Bacchanal. Exceptional. They did a really good job. I don't know how they do it. Maybe they have inside smoker things or something, but it was really good. So overall, the food was pretty decent. We felt doing the first buffet wasn't worth it, and the second buffet was good, and the third one was definitely the best. So if I was to do it, I would do 2 days at the Bacchanal and call it a day, because you can't eat it all. You know, you gotta eat a little bit at a time, right? And an hour and a half of eating time, really, it really was enough. Really, I mean, how much could you eat, really? So we took our turns, you know. I had my camera gear and stuff, and then one person would watch the gear, and then we'd go up and get the stuff. another person would get the stuff the next time and all that. So how you doing? Hey, doggy. Okay, my sister's coming. So yeah, I would do 2 days at the Bacchanal, easy. I mean, it's not an inexpensive buffet, but to us it was worth it rather than do the ones that are not, for us to it's not as good as what we thought it could be. So I'd pay a little bit more and just go to the Bacchanal. Let me just tell you that right now. Skip the rest of them. Just go straight to the Bacchanal. Do that 2 days if you have to. All right, pay the money and get the good stuff. It's not worth saving $20-$30 and not getting the same quality. You get quantity and quality at the Bacchanal. So to me, it is the best buffet. So that's and then we did shows. We did a Chris, what's his name? Chris Angel, Mind Freak show. That was good. Then the next day we did Michael Jackson Cirque du Soleil. That was good. Yeah, you get to hear all the Michael Jackson songs, and just stop here for a second. Hear all the Michael Jackson songs, and a lot of lights, so a lot of lasers and everything going on. So I would say overall, we had a good time. Now, the biggest issue we had was dealing with my scooter, because I had to find a ramp all the time. And it's not easy to always find ramps, and it's not always in the most convenient places. So yeah, I'm gonna let these bikes go first. So yeah, and then you have to go over the top of no, I'm waiting here.
Oh, when Rob passed away, she had more freaking flowers. Yeah. Hello.
Hi. So where was I? Talking to my sister, waiting for these people to go by. Yeah, so we did the Michael Jackson thing and the magic show. So overall, yeah, we had a good time, but the smoke was a killer. None of us enjoyed the smoke part of it. I didn't gamble anything. My sister tried a few. I think she did a video poker thing, just like, I don't know how many times she played it, 5 times, 6 times, not much. And how much did she win? She budgeted 20, lost $5, and then did one more pull, and then she gained, and she got $92. So 92 minus 20, so she made $72. Then I think the next day she tried again, she lost another 5. So she was down another 5, which essentially leaves her, what, $68 ahead? She doesn't gamble either, but she wanted to at least try it once. And yeah, she made $68. Didn't even pay for a buffet. But still, $68 better than nothing, I guess. All right. Now she's on the phone, so I'm gonna stop for a second here and just kind of wait for her. See, I know this ride isn't as exciting as some of our other rides. Oh, she's coming. So we're not going really fast, but at least you get to see a little bit of what I'm seeing here in California.
You're right.
Okay. Never see anything. My sister has waved me forward. So we're just going down this path. I don't know where this takes us. It was interesting that the bike rider in front of me was passing on the right-hand side. Typically people pass on the left. So as I'm moving towards the right, he says on my right, and kind of squeezed between me. It's kind of surprising. I would have gone to the left to pass. But the problem I'm having is I don't have a rear or side view mirror on this bike. And I know I'm passing my sister up dramatically, and I don't want to make sure to just leave her behind there. Although she keeps waving me forward. This is why you need a, this is bouncy. This is why you need a side view mirror or something, so you can see behind you. Otherwise you don't know what the people behind you are doing. Yeah, that was pretty bouncy. So anyway, I'm just continuing on. I'll tell you this, the Rad Mini, even though my wife has had one before, I really was never able to ride it that well because, again, I'm a little taller. It was good for her. She liked the bike. But the 20-inch wheels are, in general, to me, more difficult for me to ride, it seems, because the bikes are typically smaller. And so, as you know, I'm 5'10", and I want a full extension when I'm riding. So, so it's a little bit tougher. A little bit tougher for me to ride.
Yeah.
So, no pedestrian crossing, use crosswalk. Okay, so let me wait for her to see what she wants to do. All right, be right back. Yeah, I'm back. So, yeah, where was I? These rides are a little bit tougher because I'm kind of getting cut up in the middle of my train of thought. So I'm stopping, I'm waiting for my sister and the like. And she says, just keep riding until the next intersection, then wait for me at the intersections. Okay. So yeah, the Rad Mini, nice bike, but again, too small for me. You know, people have asked me between the Ocelot Pro and the Magicycle Cruiser, which do I prefer? The Cruiser. And it's not because I don't like the Ocelot Pro, it's because it's a 26-inch wheel version, right? I feel more comfortable with that because it's just easier for me. But you know, your center of gravity, you're higher up with a 26-inch wheel bike, so there's that. But for me, for my size, yeah, I like the larger bikes. So my daughter contacted me today. She was talking about the Bike to Drive event that's going to happen Labor Day weekend, which is biking Lakeshore Drive in Chicago. She said a friend of hers that was hoping would join us couldn't make it, but she's invited a coworker to come instead and wanted to know if it's okay if he borrowed a bike. Yeah, sure, why not? I got a lot of bikes. So I said, sure, yeah, he could borrow a bike. So I think what we're gonna do is maybe my wife and daughter can ride the Magicycle Jaguar Rundies, and because we have two of those, and then he could ride the Engwe EP2 Pro, and then I will probably take the Magicycle Ocelot Pro. Now the reason we're picking those particular bikes is because we have 2 batteries for all of those bikes. Now I also have 2 batteries for the Magicycle Deer, but the Deer is 93 pounds, so it's going to make it tough to kind of transport, and I figured we could put the 2 the 2 Magicycle Jaguar Rundies inside the Honda CR-V, my wife's, and then my daughter says that she has an SUV too. She says maybe we can put the other 2 bikes in her car. Now the issue there is that the Ocelot Pro does not fold, although the Engwe does fold, so we may still have to take the bike rack. We were trying to avoid putting the bikes out on the rack because we have to drive a distance to get there, but we may have no choice, so we'll have to see. I mean, if it for some reason we're able to get that Ocelot Pro into her vehicle, because she has a larger vehicle, she has I think a 4Runner or something like that. If we can get it in there, then we'll do it, but if we can't, and then at that point we're going to have to take the Magicycle rack or the KBO rack, which is essentially the same as the Magicycle rack. She has a hitch on her vehicle as well. So what else is coming up? Well, what else can I tell you? We have the electric bike company has finished my bike. Yes, so they are shipping my bike to me hopefully sometime this week. So we should be seeing that bike coming in. But again, like I said, I have other bikes I have to do the reviews for first. Get those out of the way, then do the electric bike company, and then there's a couple more other bikes coming. So yeah, to date, I have now officially turned down 54 bikes turned down 54 bikes and accepted a certain amount, but yeah, I'm gonna stop here first. Yep, oh, she's catching up. All right, we're gonna go forward. So yeah, it's a lot of bikes, but people said, why don't you just take them all? I guess technically you could, but I don't want to. No, some of these bikes kind of look the same as another bike. It's not like it's something different or anything like that. Of course, you can take them and then just wait. All right, what were we talking about? Bikes. So yeah, as far as taking all these bikes, yeah, I guess I could take every bike that's there, make a bunch of money and sell them all. But I know it's not what I want to do. A bunch of rabbits. Some of the bikes I'm not sure of because, you know, they look like generic bikes, and I don't know where the batteries came from. If these batteries are safe or not. I don't want all this lithium ion in my house. I've got a lot of it already. So again, I've been picking and choosing and refusing many bikes. So those who have made it past the Russ is Right review queue, yeah, either something about it got me interested enough to try it, or maybe the design looked different or something. A lot of squirrels. But yeah, I've been picky, but you know, people have asked me again, you know, can you tell us at least which ones you've rejected? I can't do that. I don't think it would be fair to the manufacturers to tell them, you know, what I thought about why I didn't take their bike and I didn't even review their bike. That would not be fair. So I can't do that for you. Just know that if you see a bike that I reviewed, there's a reason I reviewed it. Either something grabbed my eye, or I'm thinking maybe this would be good. You know, I'm sure there'll be a bike or two that'll come through that isn't as good as I thought it would be, just by looking at the specs and, you know, looking at the design of it. And on those bikes, I will of course tell you, yeah, I don't like it, or this or that. But I won't purposely take a bike and then just hack it up on a review. I don't think that's fair. It's not fair to the manufacturer to spend that kind of money, send it to you when you already in your mind already have an idea that it might be an issue with it. At least an issue to me about it, that is. So anyway, this is my final day in California. I'm heading back tomorrow, and so my sister said, let's go at least do one bike trail. And she's never been out here before either. She has not been on any of the trails, and she knows that this is her best chance to get out and do it, because, you know, she has the Hollywood rack, and I know many of you guys have that too, and you know the steps needed to get that thing up and going. I don't think she can do it on her own. She's gonna need either her husband or her son to help her put the bikes on there and to take it off. So you know, either way, she can't go on her own. She's gonna have to go along with somebody, and they're gonna have to help. So, but at least we had the chance to build that thing, and she saw how it was done. She knows how to put it on and put it off, take it off. Even though she might not be the one that will be doing that, one of the other guys will do it, but at least she knows the procedure at this point. So I would say that the Hollywood rack seems pretty good compared to the one that Magicycle and KBO gave me, but it is a more expensive rack. I believe typically at retail it's about $4.99, and I don't know what I think these other guys sell their racks for about $100 less. I think they're like $3.99 ranges. So, you know, that extra $100 might be worth it. Cars are letting me through, so I say thank you and go by. I know my sister's still behind, so I'll stop and see how she's doing. Hold on a second. She's still there. She hasn't crossed over yet. I'll wait a little bit. And, you know, I know the guys have asked me, you know, when are we going to do a Russ's Right group ride? Well, this would be the issues with the group rides. Not everyone rides at the same pace. So you either end up riding and stopping and riding and stopping, or you'll go way past everybody. This is why I don't do group rides. Plus the liability. If somebody got hurt after a sponsored ride from me, I don't need that, right? So, yeah, I don't think we'll be doing group rides. Now, let me ask you another thing. My nephew is quite the artist. He draws fairly well. He uses computers and things like that to do his drawings, and you know, iPads and AI and all this other type of stuff. And so we were talking, and I said, yeah, you know, there's companies that will take a design, put it on a t-shirt, put it on a coffee mug, put it on a hat. I says, could you draw something that could be a Russ's Right logo thing, or some type of concept thing for e-bikes? And he said, yeah, I'll give it a try, you know. So hey, so let me ask you this. If he drew something and it tickled your fancy, would you buy a t-shirt or a jersey or a sweatshirt or a hat or a mug or whatever it is that they sell? Would you buy one of those things? If so, I'll ask him to see if he can design us something. The thing is these companies, they don't require you to have inventory of stuff. So as long as you have a graphic design, you upload it to them, and then they put it on a little website thing, and then you go there, you look at it, you say, hey, I like this design, I would like it on a t-shirt, let's say. Then you order a t-shirt. So there's no inventory for me. It's only made when someone orders one, right? Nobody loses out that way. The company doesn't have to make a bunch of stuff and nobody buys it. They only make it when it's ordered. What do you think of that? Would you do that? If you're one that might do that, let me know. Put a comment in the comments below. Let's see how many people would actually be interested. And if there's enough, maybe we can convince him to put some of his talents together and put together something for us. Now, granted, he's only a freshman in high school, but he has some little bit of artistic ability. So we'll see if the kid can do something good, right? So I told him, I says, hey, if it happens, you know, I'll give you a percentage of the sales. I get a percentage or something, and then the company who manufactures it gets us something too. So everyone wins, right? And you guys get some merchandise. Let me know if you're interested in that. If you're not, let me know that too, okay? Because it's no big deal. You won't hurt my feelings if you said no. But I just want to kind of get a feel how people think about something like that. You know, some e-bike merchandise, Russ's Right merchandise. I don't know if those were e-bikes that we just passed or not. But now, here's an interesting thing. My sister's following along, as you know, and she's got allergies too. So I told her she should have been wearing her mask, because my wife wears a mask when she rides, because she has some major allergies. And you know, a lot of these areas that you ride, there's weeds and all sorts of stuff, and you know, it just affects her a lot. So she learned that she has to wear a mask while she's riding to avoid all of the pollen and whatever else is blowing around. So but my sister forgot to put it on, and so now she's suffering. Hey, do you guys wear a mask when you're riding? Anyone else have this allergy issue? I mean, look at the stuff that we're riding at, right? It's a lot of weeds, tall grasses, I should say. You know, to me, anything that's not a regular grass, it's a weed. It's the way I see it. So, anyways, let me know about that stuff. That's about all I really had to say. I just wanted to make a couple videos at least while I'm out here. We'll be making videos of our own in our own area once I get back to the Chicago area. Anyways, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I will talk to you guys next time.